Hello and welcome, my dear shining beings, to the Energy Show, aka Sunday Live with Sylvia. I am absolutely thrilled to be here with you, afresh and anew, different each time, and always ready to have, oh, 45 minutes of freeing, relaxing energy thoughts that allow us to go further and wider and expand ourselves in different ways. I like that. I like that a lot. ah, Marianne. Marianne says, good morning and hello to you, dear Sylvia, and everyone who's joining. Yes, indeed. Hello. Love it. Yeah, today we're going to talk about miracles. Miracles. I think it's about time we started talking about miracles. And that'll be fun. Good morning, dear Ilka, and all the other guys who have joined us here this morning. Fantastic. I see there's quite a few of us today, and that's excellent. Yeah, miracles are coming. We need miracles. We need more miracles in our lives. And, yes. So, one of my most popular videos on YouTube is the tapping video for I Need a Miracle. And for the longest time, I have used the miracle as a setup when people were literally at the end of their tether and they really couldn't think what to do next or what to do. You know, if you ask someone, what do you need to feel better? And they say, just nothing, it's just impossible. Or what do you need to overcome this problem? And they'll like, oh, there's nothing in the world that could help me. It's just I'm doomed, I'm damned, it's all over. I just there's no saving for me at all. There's nothing that can solve this problem or overcome this or do anything, make even the smallest dent in a problem. And whenever I've been in that position, and I've been in that position many more times than I would want to have been, I used to go to the miracle and say to people, well, it would take a miracle, wouldn't it? And there's this instant, the minute you say that, that would take a miracle. This instant thing used to happen with people, which is that they go, oh, and this sort of oh, effect. And then they would sometimes smile and say, yeah, it would take a miracle. That would really take a miracle. Absolutely. Nothing short of a miracle can help me here. And I used to love that, just saying the word and having people even think in terms of a miracle, that there is such a thing. It just did something to their energy bodies, their emotions, their states of being. And later on, when we got into the tapping thing, to tap for I Need a Miracle was just a brilliant way to unlock the process of working with tapping and with positives in the first place. So we'll start with I Need a Miracle, and then we can go on from there. Just saying a wonderful and loving good morning to dear Lorna Firth, dear Martin, and to Alex and Carol Ann. Hello, my friends. Lovely to have you here with me. It's a miracle. It's a miracle that I am live on YouTube and talking to you guys today at the multi-level for my own personal problems, obviously, but also the level of technology that we've got going here, that people in these different countries can be here. Good morning, Ravensweaver. Hello. Lovely to have you here with me today. We're talking about miracles, which is a great topic. And I was talking about figuring out at some point when we were doing tapping on positives, which is just such a wonderful thing. So a person has a problem, let's say a spider phobia. And instead of going, oh, trying to find the original trauma and working your way back to the trauma and all of that we used to do back in the day when we had negative EFT psycho EFT, psychology-based trauma EFT. Yeah, and then we went on to positive tapping, and here we have the person with a spider phobia, and we just asked them, what would it take for you to get over that? What kind of positive would you need to just totally get over it quickly, now? And people would say, oh, there's nothing that could help me get over this. And then I'd say, how about a miracle? And just look them straight in the eye. How about a miracle? And there's this moment of confusion. And then you could see that the internal sat nav is recalculating. And they're going, yeah, a miracle would do it. A miracle could cure me of my spider phobia. And that's sort of it's like a key that unlocks the drawbridge to the castle. We're not there yet at the internal doors or anything like that, but now the drawbridge has come down, we can actually get, to the first door, as it were. And so I used to do this tapping with people on I Need a Miracle. And that moves so much energy. It's awesome. It's just wonderful. I need a miracle. And once you've got that done, and I know that you're all just dying to do some tapping on I Need a Miracle, but I'm not in the mood for tapping this morning. This is not a tapping show. We can do a little setup in the heart position if you like. Ah, I love a miracle, or two, or three, or more. Lots of miracles. Yay. But yeah, what used to then happen? Good morning, Lucas and Dieter. Hello, my friends. Germany and Czechoslovakia is with us today. Yeah, so what used to happen after this first round of I Need a Miracle, or rather sequence, it's not a round, it's a sequence. It's an upward lifting spiral when we do modern energy tapping. We don't go round and round in circles and chase our tails. We go in an upward lifting spiral up the modern energy chart, up the SIS scale, as we do. So we ask our friend with the spider phobia after we've done the I Need a Miracle, and they're relaxed and they're smiling and they're really kind of philosophical, really, even though they still have the problem. They're much more philosophical about it. Then we ask them, so, okay, so what else would you need to overcome this spider phobia? And now they can answer that. They say, oh, I'd need a lot more courage. I need a lot more courage. So yeah, we can now got a next step on our upward ladder to success, if you will, to the moment when the healing event happens, the threshold shift happens. And our person is like, yeah, courage. Okay, what's the next one that you need? Faith and trust. And then there comes this moment where there's this real, the energy blockage relating to the spider has gone, and we can go into the testing phase, and we can show the person a picture of a spider, and they can now tidy up any little flutters that remain in the energy system with other positives. And of course, because of that, should they ever come across a really big spider or a spider in the environment and little flutters remain of their old entrained behaviors, they can go straight into the positives that we have worked with, and they can take them away, take them home, and use them many times, and possibly even for other things apart from spider phobias. But yeah, it's quite wonderful. So I've been using that idea, excuse me, been using that idea of a miracle to unlock these possibilities, these potential, where there was this total sort of dead end. No, there's nothing that can be done. Nothing could possibly work. It's all forsaken. It's all doesn't. This big block there is conceptual. It's energetic. It's mental. Instead of this big block, and then we say, yeah, well, it would take a miracle, wouldn't it? And that, in and of itself, if you think about it, could be actually classed as a miracle. That all these people that honestly have totally believed that there was nothing we could do that would make a difference. You offer them even the idea of a miracle, and something miraculous happens in and of itself, instantly. This expansion of possibilities. And we are through this barrier into a different space where we can breathe more deeply, where we can think more clearly, where our energy flows better. Now, I do love emo. You think about a miracle. Where do you feel that in your body? Show me with your hands. When you just think about a miracle, a real, proper, wow miracle. Ooh. Yeah, I've got that all going on here around my back, like a cloak flowing down my shoulders. And there's a little bit of something just there. And all of that can soften and flow, because the more energy flows in, through, and out us, the better we feel. Now, if you know how to do emo, just have a little shimmy, a little shake. Miracle. Just sort of let the energy flow quite clearly, because we're going to talk about what they are today. What's a miracle? Well, whenever that comes up, there's this kind of sad quote from this guy, and I don't know who this guy was, that to a uncivilized society, technology is a miracle, like being able to switch on the light, switch a switch on the wall and the light comes on. And these poor, uneducated natives go, oh, it's a miracle, and they make a religion out of it. Now, I hate that at the multi-level. I really do. I mean, I hate that at the multi-level. Most of all, what I hate about it is the total disrespect that is being, given here to the so-called natives or our ancestors or the Stone Age people. It annoys the hell out of me in archaeology and all these other places that people are these so-called technologically advanced science people. They think they're so smart, so much smarter than those old idiots that somehow survived cave lions and volcanoes and ice ages on their own merits, without heated blankets and without aircon. Now, there should be more respect for these guys, for our ancestors. They were very, very smart people. They were not dumb. And switching on the light, yes, it's a thing, isn't it? It's a thing. But is it a miracle? That's an interesting question. What is a miracle? And I've thought about this, and I'm going to offer you a definition that I have come to. Let's see if you like it. If you like it, you are very, very welcome to adopt it. That a miracle is something that could not have happened in our existing worldview, that is outside of what we believe is possible. Let me try and say that again. A miracle is something that is outside of what we believe is possible. And that this is totally idiosyncratic, meaning this is personal. Miracles are 100% personal. Now, that's an interesting thing to say. And I said 100% personal, and I mean that. A miracle is 100% personal. So really the whole thing that the people do in Rome of officially investigating miracles and then saying that's a miracle, but these examples are not miracles, so they're not going to get miracle status, official miracle status. I think that's missing the point of real miracles. I think that miracles are absolutely personal, that one single individual person experiences something that they absolutely didn't think was possible before it happened to them. And that to that person, that's the definition of a miracle. See, our friend, the spider phobic, did his tapping session with me. And then he goes out and something happens, and I don't know, for the most unusual reason, somebody produces in his environment a pet tarantula and holds it up to his face. And he looks at the thing and he doesn't freak out. And he's looking at it and he's like, and to him, that's a miracle. That is a miracle. He lived with that for 53 years, for as long as he could remember, being absolutely terrified of spiders and freaking out when he even saw a picture, or sometimes he'd freak out when people just made a spidery hand movement. That had been totally his world. And now it isn't. And that's a miracle to him. That's absolutely a miracle. He never believed it was possible. He didn't think it was doable. He didn't think it would ever come. But it did. And there it is. And sort of another example that I thought of was somebody who's, I don't know, just been wandering through life and watching other people fall in love. And they don't, for whatever reason. They just don't. They've never fallen in love. They see it everywhere, in the movies, in the poems, in the songs. And they may have come to the conclusion after some decades of this that everybody else is just deluded, that they're just crazy, and he's the only person who's sane. Until that day it comes and somebody comes around the corner and the lights go on. And the entire energy system explodes and he's in love for the very first time. At age 60 or 65 or something like that, who knows? And there it is. And that's a miracle. It's a miracle to this person. Because they never thought it would happen. They never believed in it. They never understood it or the grandiosity of it. It's a complete miracle. Something that happened that wasn't possible or wasn't thought to be possible before it happened. Lorna's just commented here. That happened to me. It's a miracle I ever got to Scotland after all the stuff I went through. A true miracle. Right. Okay. We're sort of interacting here with the star events and the star memories. And I think that's where I got this idea from, that miracles are personal to each one of us, and that they literally are simply something that happens that we never thought was even possible, that didn't exist in the world that we lived in. But when it did happen, it made our worlds bigger. It showed us a new world, a bigger world. And now we may then think that there are other miracles, personal miracles awaiting us. Personal miracles. And it's quite funny because the sort of miracles that the Romans give out their prizes for and their sainthoods for, like making the blind see and the lame walk. Loads of us have done this with tapping already. Loads of us have. Lots of people have done this who've done tapping with clients. Even the old negative one, every so often, you'd have the so-called EFT miracle that nobody knew how to get to, or, how to guarantee that it would be had. Is that we had I once was blind and now I can see. And quite literally, I had a client, a young lady who had dyslexia, really severe dyslexia. And we did some tapping, and she could see the words without them swimming away or crossing over or becoming horrible spidery things. She'd see the words clearly and could spell them out. So, and as the lameness goes, I mean, how many times have we done that with people who had some kind of, don't know, a stiff arm or a pain in the, I remember a lady, that was emo, not tapping. It's a lady who had a pain in the knee for over 50 years from an accident when she'd fallen off a pony when she was a child. And I don't know why. There was a massive energy blockage stuck in her knee. She'd had like dozens of operations on it, and people kept telling her there's nothing wrong with your knee, and it was just painful the whole time. And so she was limping. So she was lame. We did EMO on it, and I made the lame walk. Alex Kent mentioned something the other day where he dealt with a very old person in a wheelchair, man over 90. And after he'd done the EMO with him, the man got up out of the wheelchair and started to dance around, much to the terror of his carer, who'd never seen anything like it. And that happens when the problem is in the energy system and not in the physical body. And so please, for anybody who's listening to this and doesn't know me, doesn't know my work, doesn't know what we're doing, I am not promising any kind of physical healing. We work with the energy body. But just sometimes the problem is in the energy body, not in the physical body. Things happen and something gets stuck there or gets broken there, like that lady who fell off her pony when she was 14 and then had that energy blockage in her leg until she met me at the age of, 65? This is an energy thing. And I encourage people to try out some basic energy techniques for their physical ailments. But I am not promising any kind of physical healing, not at all. And that's just needs to be always made clear so we don't get any accusations or we don't lose the plot. But these things, these energy work things, to the people to whom they happened, they were absolutely miracles. Absolutely miracles. And I think that's a great definition. Oh, Martin. Martin just said, I fixed the dog in front of you and the owners. Yeah, that was really quite interesting. Yes. That was a dog that Martin gave some energy healing to. And he just didn't know what was wrong with the thing. He just gave it some energy healing and stroked it a little bit and all the rest of it. And the dog was very happy afterwards and started to jump around, pick up a toy and started to play. And the owners were like, oh my God, the dog had an operation on its jaw, had a part of its lower jaw removed because it had some sort of cancer in the jaw. And it hasn't played with a toy for the last 3 years. This is the first time it's picked up a toy and played with it. So, this energy thing, all the physical healing is great, but if there's something remaining that wasn't addressed properly in the energy body, you get all sorts of interesting symptoms. Yeah, so, and that doesn't make us miracle healers. Or does it? I mean, oh man, this is such an easy way for the people who hate and deny energy to jump on us and say, look at these bastards, they're promising miracles of healing. And we certainly don't. What we do is to say, oh, let's just try some energy work and see what happens next. See what happens next. And then I want to really take this back. I want to really take this back to miracles being personal. And that's all that matters, that it is a miracle to you, that you experienced what you would describe as a miracle simply because you never thought it was possible. Now, the good question may well be, how do we get to experience more miracles? And I think an easy way really forward is to ask for what's impossible. I'm just going to have a look what Dieter is saying here. Dieter says, that's also happened to me recently. Now I know how it feels and what it does to me when someone really loves me and I can accept it. That was a miracle for me. Personal, yes. The falling in love example, or, when somebody, like you say, when somebody actually loves you unconditionally and you feel that to be true, that it goes totally beyond words, that you really understand it in every fiber of your being, that it's possible that somebody could love you in this lifetime like that. That's absolutely falls under my definition of a miracle. Absolutely. Personal miracles are where it's at. Personal miracles are where it is at. And yeah, I'm sorry, I'm having some sort of miraculous coughing fit here. Yeah, so the question, perhaps the people in the positive energy sessions who absolutely didn't believe that something could happen, that something could evolve, that it's been 20, 30, 40, 50 years they've had this problem in their lives, whatever it may have been or be it a spider phobia or a pain in a knee where all the doctors say there's nothing wrong with it. Perhaps we should look around our worlds and ask the question, well, what do I believe is impossible? Completely impossible. This is not possible for me. It's possible for other people. And I hear tales that this has happened, but it's not possible for me. It is impossible. Completely impossible. What is that? And make a list of those things. That'd be a start, because there we can make use of this strange thing that happens. You say to this person, nobody's ever loved me in my entire life. Okay, how old are you? I'm 65. And I've given up hope long ago, given up hope that anybody would love me. And so we say to this 65-year-old person who's got all this experience of this world where nobody loves him, we say to them, have you considered that there may be the chance of a miracle? And this effect of, I hadn't thought of that. Miracle, huh? And the whole energy state changes from this locked, tight misery to, waking up thinking a little bit, perhaps getting to 3. That's our little friend with the light bulb over his head on the modern energy chart. Perhaps that's what it is. We bring in the miracle. There is an enlightenment occurring. Yeah, so just perhaps we can do that this week. Perhaps spend some time thinking about things that are impossible at the moment in our experience, from our many years of experience. We may have tried and failed 100,000 times, come to the conclusion it simply can't be done for whatever reason. Perhaps my soul doesn't want me to do it, or perhaps God doesn't want me to have this, or be this, or try that, or experience that, or perhaps it's not meant to be in this incarnation, or all the other ways we try to soothe that thing that when we want something or hunger for it or want to experience it, but it's just not happening. Perhaps we can start there and just simply apply that. I need a miracle for that. It will take a miracle. And just start with that. But what I would also really like to invite you all to do, right here, right now, and each one of you, is to remember a time when something happened to you, when you experienced something, and to you, it was a miracle. Just to you, it was a miracle. And it doesn't matter how silly or mundane other people would have viewed this, or how much they laughed at your past aspect, or pointed and said, God, you're so stupid if you think that's a miracle. Huh. Everybody has that. Everybody can do that. And no matter how much the Romans would say, no, that's not a proper miracle. It doesn't pass the test for proper miracles. But for you, it was an absolute miracle. And I'd like you to remember that. Remember that aspect who had that experience. Remember where that was, what the environment was. And most of all, remember that feeling of utter surprise, utter astonishment. Beyond gratitude, it's just way beyond gratitude. It's just this surprise, this astonishment that you've been given not just a great gift, but some kind of grace. And I love that word, grace. I love that word. A grace is in and of itself a miracle. Oh, yeah, connect with that. And remember what that was. And there we can say, right, that is what I want more of. That I have now, at this point, come to the understanding that miracles are personal to me, that I can experience miracles, that they are things that I never thought were possible, but then they happen. And I was surprised, astonished, delightful, and now in hindsight, oh so grateful for that. Oh so grateful for that. And that is what I mean when I say, I want more miracles in my life. That's what I mean. I think if we do that, and we sort of start with that, sort of a beginner's guide to miracles, an introduction to miracles. We start with that, I think we can unfold more of the great mystery that is miracles in and of itself. I think we can. I think it's a safe and sound stepstone into the world of miracles and having more of them. So, guys, what do you think of that? What do you think of that idea that miracles are personal, that we've already experienced miracles in our lives, and that if we go with that idea of a miracle being something that we think at the moment is impossible, and then we find out it isn't and are surprised and happy, that's a good way to move towards having more miracles in our lives. It's quite a curious thing. Hello, Pen. Hello there. Welcome to the channel. This is true, and we have to believe it when it happens. See, now, here's the thing. When it happens, when it really happens, like fall in love for the first time or something like that, some sort of a thing that you never thought ever was possible, but it happened anyway. You don't need belief. You do not need any kind of belief at all because you've just lived it. You've lived it. This is the lived experience that counts. The real, that's what I'm going on about Star Matrix. We've been spending all this time digging in trauma, and instead we should have been digging in our personal miracles, in our star events, because that's where the really important information lies. And see, I think that once we start at least to toy with the idea that a miracle isn't some kind of rock that God throws from above at random people in the street and it either hits you or it doesn't. When we put that aside and say instead, okay, wait a minute, a miracle is something that happens to me, that it's personal, it has happened before, there's a good chance it's going to happen again, especially if I become much more lucid and focused and say, yeah, that's what I want to experience. I want to go beyond what I thought was possible. And now we start there, and then we don't need any belief. Don't need any belief. And instead, what we get is this lived experience that is actually super valuable. And when you add up the lived experience of many people, you actually end up with extremely precious scientific data sets from which we can extrapolate structures, theories, methods, and so much more. Cool. Ooh. Oh, that's so sweet. Martin says, I met you. Yeah, miracles can happen, eh? Really, I mean, never give up, never surrender until the moment you draw your last breath. Miracles can happen. And I believe we can expedite this if we embrace the concept, if we understand that we've already experienced miracles in our own lives and get in touch with what a miracle is for you, your miracles, the miracles that happened to you. That's what they were, and why you would class them not just as a happy event or, oh, that was groovy or cool, but no, it was a miracle. Nothing less. There things become really interesting, I think. Really interesting. This is miracles happen to those who ask for them. This is a very dodgy path to go down because there are millions of people right now praying for miracles. They are in a desperate situation. They might be really sick, or their family may be sick, or they may be in a war zone, or they may be surrounded by bandits who are going to kill everybody. They may be in terrible situations in prisons, being tortured. They're praying for miracles. And that's the big thing, isn't it? That those miracles don't get answered. Nothing happens. No angel comes from heaven and saves these poor people in their moments of need. I think that it's a shame that we don't really understand how this whole thing hangs together, how it works. Because the terrible disappointment and the hatred of people who have prayed for angels and miracles, but they didn't come. Nothing happened. The pain just got worse. This is such a terrible shame. And there has to be a better way. There has to be a better way, which is what I'm trying to find. Out of blind faith, out of things that don't work when the shit really hits the fan, into a way that we can work with and understand the mysteries, the metaphysics, and use them correctly and use them right so that they work for us and that they have good results. It's so, so important to me, especially when we're talking about things like miracles and souls and really going into what used to be very esoteric, very religious, very, strange, without evidence procedure, especially when we go into that land. And I can prove, this is what I can prove. I can prove that people have had life experiences that they personally consider to have been miraculous, and that these life experiences created really serious change in their incarnations, in their timelines. They really did something to that person's life. They had a measurable effect on that person's life. See, this I can prove over and over and over again. This is provable. This is verifiable. This is how it works. And from that, I can then make the theory that we perceive a miracle to be something that we thought was impossible before it happened. And that therefore, at this moment, I can then further theorize that if that was so in the past, that there was a past self that thought certain things were set in stone and could never change, and then they did, that these past people, they were wrong, clearly, and the miracle event showed them that they were. And we can say that if we are now here thinking that certain things are completely impossible, surely we have to be in the same position as this past aspect was. And that what we need is a new miracle to change our minds, and with it change significant aspects of our lives for the better, to be sure. That's the thing with miracles. They change things for the better. Let's have a look. Dieter says, I think miracles are a beginning. Yes. It's a soul thing. Appearing in his fucked up heart, and it takes more miracles. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You don't have one miracle and your entire life is saved, well, and rescued, although it feels like that at the time. But there's more to come. There are more to come. And oh man, yesterday I was recording an interview with Alex Kent about energy in the family for the GOE conference. And we were talking about this realm of infinite love and this realm of infinite star events. And likewise, there's this realm of infinite miracles. Don't just get one per life if you're lucky. In fact, I think there's a practice thing in that you get to understand what that is, how you get to that point where when you're expanding your reality, this miracle, that is the result of a process in operation. And a lot of it has got to do with being more often in high energy states. I am absolutely convinced of that. Linda Aitken. Hello, Linda. Sending oceans of love to everyone. Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Yay. Oceans of love to everyone. That's what the world needs. That's what every person in the world needs. More love. Much, much more love. Much more unconditional love. Much more love. Even if they think that they're already loved by millions, I don't know. They still need more love. Lots more love. Love it. Okay, guys. So that was my idea on miracles. Let's start with that. Personal, already experienced, star events of evolution, of love, of healing, of insights. That's a miracle. I totally think of that moment when I saw the connections between energy exchanges and behavior and that whole thing. That was an absolute miracle. Oh, absolute miracle. Total amazing grace. How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was blind and now I see. That's the description of a real miracle, not making the blind see and the lame walk. That's easy, you know. Although to the blind and the lame, it's a miracle. Of course it is. Of course it is. But it's got to be personal. It's got to be felt. It's got to be experienced. It's got to be lived. And there is all the time in the universe for us to have more miracles, to ask for more miracles, to tap for more miracles, to call for them, to ask, what can I do to expedite the arrival of the next miracle? What can I do today to help the next miracle that is surely on its way? A stream of miracles that never ends. That each one expands us, unfolds us, evolves us, makes us stronger. Wonderful. No downsides to it at all. And no way, if we do this right, to get lost in delusion. No way. Don't need blind faith. We just need to remember the miracles that have already happened in our lives. Boy, that's an amazing thing. With enormous gratitude once again to Star Matrix for opening the door to things like this so I can actually talk about miracles and have it be full of sense, reasonable, rational, and yet truly inspiring and metaphysical at the same time. Love and logic. I love it. All right, my darlings, I am going to wish you the soonest possible arrival of your next miracle, the next step on a pathway. Stepstones, miracles as stepstones of evolution. And that's a really wonderful thing, and that's what we need when we want to explore new worlds. Oh man, thank you so much for being here and having shared your precious time with me today. I'm excited. Look out for miracles. Perhaps it's one of those things, keep looking. Where's the miracle in the room? Where is it? Where's it lurking? Where's it hiding? Where's it going to be found? And expect it with excitement and no trepidation, because miracles are always, always a wonderful surprise, a wonderful blessing, and deep, deep grace in the most profound way for our lives. Okay, my friends, thank you for being here with me today. Very great congratulations that you have made it to the end of this broadcast. And if you love what we do here, please like and subscribe, join the GOE, help us move forward towards more love, more logic for all of humanity. And I will see you, God willing, again next week for Sunday Live with Sylvia, the Modern Energy Show. Lots of love and blessings, and goodbye for now.